Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we love getting into the nitty-gritty of things, and today is no exception.
hmm
We're wading into the current presidential race
Oh boy, yeah.
with a recent article from MSNBC that's stirring up some conversation, to say the least.
It's a juicy
It
one.
really is. Published just yesterday, October 20th, so it's fresh off the press,
Hot off the presses.
hot off the presses, by Mauricio Alencar. So,
Don Kerr's a good writer, yeah. I always enjoy their pieces.
right, they always bring something interesting to the table.
Definitely, they don't shy away from the more, shall we say, colorful aspects of politics.
No, they definitely don't, and this article is no exception. So without further ado, let's dive in. What's the headline here that's got everyone buzzing?
Well, the gist is former President Trump at a recent rally used some, let's just say, choice words directed at Vice President Kamala Harris.
Okay, and choice words meaning.
He called her well, I can't repeat it exactly on the air, but let's just say it was a very derogatory term for a woman in a position of power.
Wow, okay, so not exactly keeping it civil.
Not exactly the picture of presidential decorum. And it wasn't just a one-off comment. He actually encouraged his supporters to use the same language.
Really? So like a call and response at a rally?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
all right there in the article.
Wow, I mean, you have to wonder what kind of strategy that is.
Right. Like, what's the end game there?
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, it's not like this is the first time we've seen this kind of, let's call it unconventional campaign tactic from him.
True, true. He's never been one to shy away from controversy, that's for sure.
So how did Harris respond to all of this?
So Harris, to her credit, didn't just let it slide. She addressed the incident head-on in a statement, and she did not mince words. She basically said that this kind of language, it's not just about being disrespectful or unpresidential. It actually demeans the office of the presidency itself.
I see. So she's taking it a step further and saying this isn't just about her personally, it's about the office, the institution.
Right, exactly. And not only that, she was really emphasizing how this kind of rhetoric reflects on the U.S. on a global scale.
That's an interesting point. It's not just an internal American political thing. It has implications for how the U.S. is perceived internationally.
Precisely. And she made that connection very explicitly. She was talking about how the U.S. is often held up as this, shining example of democracy and rule of law. And when you have a leading figure, especially a former president, engaging in this kind of, what she called it, gutter rhetoric, it really undermines that image.
It's true. It undercuts any kind of moral high ground. Like, how can you be a beacon of democracy if you're using that kind of language?
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, like, what does that say about us as a country?
Yeah. It's a tough question. It kind of makes you reevaluate things.
Yeah.
And speaking of reevaluating, Alan Carr brings up an interesting point in the article about how this whole incident might actually influence voters in the upcoming election. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will this be the thing that finally turns some voters away? Or will it just solidify their existing opinions? It's hard to say for sure.
It's like, how much weight does this actually carry in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah. And will it actually change anyone's minds?
Right. Because everyone's got their camps, their echo chambers, and it's like, does anything really penetrate that anymore?
Yeah, it's hard to say. But I do think it raises some interesting questions about the state of our political discourse. Like, have we reached a point where this kind of language is just, like, normalized? Or is there still a line?
That's the big question, isn't it? And where is that line?
Yeah, where is that line?
And it seems like Harris has a pretty clear stance on where she draws that line, because Alan Carr ends by highlighting her prediction that, quote, Trump will lose in November and never again stand behind the seal of the United States, unquote.
Bold words.
Very bold. And it kind of leaves us hanging, doesn't it? Like, is she right?
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess we will. Time will tell. Well, on that note, I think we've done a pretty deep dive on this one for today. What are your final thoughts?
I just think it's fascinating how this one incident, this one article can open up so many bigger conversations,
Totally.
about the power of words, about the image of America on the world stage, about what we expect from our leaders.
It's like a microcosm of everything that's going on right now.
Exactly.
It's a lot to process. But hey, that's what we do here on the Deep Dive, right? We process it together.
That's what we're here for.
So until next time, keep those brains buzzing and stay curious, everyone.
And be kind to each other out there.
Yes, kindness always wins.
Always.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.